Hey guys, Barbara here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome to Bear Pantry Talk. A few days ago when I was doing a live event, a few of you asked me to make a video telling you the top things that you need to know if you're going to write your own book. So let's start right away with number 10. Write what you know. That's what I did with my first book. Let's see. It's called The Small Change Diet. Look it, see? This is the paperback. This is the hardcover. When I first got this book, when I made it, I was so excited because this just feels like something that you would find in a library. It even has my name in the spine. It has this dust cover thing to cover it up. And I had two versions of the book. This one was more expensive, of course. I went with Ex Libris as my publisher for self-publishing. I don't want to get into the publisher part of it right now because that comes in the list later. They weren't working out for me because I wasn't seeing any dividends. They had the book for maybe 8 to, I think they probably are still selling this book, but I don't have anything at all to do with it. I think once a year they send me $5, and my accountant is like, are you for real? They're gonna 1099 you for $5? Just know that because that wasn't working out, I switched to a different publisher, Author Inc., and I had them redo the book. Same book inside, just a different cover. I went with a sleek design and I didn't want me so big on the cover and so on and so on. So this is my first book, all right? I wrote about what I knew because I knew about weight loss and weight gain, and at the time I was doing an eating plan that was actually working pretty great for me, and I wanted to share that with my family and the world and so on and so on. So after I did that book, I already knew that I wanted to write a cookbook, so that's when I went into cookbooks, all right? So number 9, choose the amount of chapters. Start a new chapter when ideas change. How I pick my chapters, I always go with 12 chapters. Well, when it comes to writing, not so much the cookbook, but these other type of books, because of the 12 apostles. That's simply why I picked it. You can go 10, you can go 8, you can go 14, 16. You can go odd numbers too, but I like even numbers with everything that I do in life. So just choose the amount of chapters, because like this one with 12 chapters, this book is kind of meaty, right? It's not too much. It's like an hour's read, but it's not too skinny, because you want your book to look like a book. You don't want it to look like a pamphlet, all right? Now, a chapter can be 1 page. You know, it doesn't have to be very long, but pick a nice amount of chapters that sits well with you. Don't edit while writing. If you're writing the book and you say, I'm gonna do this, and you know that that's not grammatically correct because it's gonna, don't go back and change it then when you're writing, because you're gonna mess up. You're gonna mess up your flow with your ideas and stuff. There's gonna be time when you're gonna be editing, and it's not when you're writing. Another thing that you might want to do is take one of those digital recorders with you, or if you know how to record on your phone, just take that with you so that when you have bursts of ideas, when you're out in public, you can record your ideas and come back and put them in the book. Don't use that thing when you're driving in the car, because they will give you a ticket, because it's just like if you're using the cell phone, all right? Now, you can keep a pad and pencil by your nightstand too, so when you wake up from your sleep to go use the bathroom, you can write down any ideas then. So that's what I do when I'm writing my book. I'm always looking for ideas, and they come in bursts, all right? Number 7, sometimes you're gonna have to start at the end. So sometimes you're gonna start writing a book and say, okay, I want to write about this topic. And then as you're writing, you're like, I don't know how this book is gonna end. Stop at that point and go back and try to write the ending, so that way you can write everything to build up to the ending. Even in Lifetime movies, you'll see that sometimes they'll start where the thing happens, and then they'll go back 3 months earlier, or 4 months earlier, or 2 weeks earlier, or whatever. So sometimes you're gonna have to start writing the end of your book first before you get to the beginning of your book, all right? So now the next one, number 6, gather the funds. You're gonna need funds to produce your book. This book, $1,000 to even get it to the publisher, and that didn't even give me no book. It just gave me like 1 each, and that's it. And I still had to buy my books, and these books were expensive to buy back from Ex Libris. They were like $13 a piece. I couldn't even sell this to save my life. So how to gather the funds? You're gonna have to go to friends and family. You're just gonna have to suck it up. Don't go begging. Don't go begging, because that's the last thing your family wants or needs. What you gotta do is teach them how to sow. You got to sow a seed into what you're doing, because God will bring a harvest to them. I really do believe that. I honestly believe. I'm always trying to sow seeds into people, because I always need something from the Lord. And you're not buying God by doing that. You're just activating what He tells you can do, because there's 2 parts to Jesus: the principle of Jesus and the man, the person. person of Jesus, and the principle is what you apply to get your prosperity. So you must give in order to receive. So you're going to go to your friends and family and you're going to say, could you sow into my dream? You're going to see some of them run. That's okay. Some of them are going to stay with you. You guys see me going through it right now, right? I needed funds to do the ISBN. I'm gathering the funds, and then now I need the funds to actually put in the order, and I'm going to do that through pre-order. So you're going to have to do that, all right? I'm sure a bunch of you have friends, family members, even if it's your own kids, they'll come and they'll donate to your cause, especially if they see that that's your dream. Now, the people who run, just let them run. Don't worry about them. All right, so then number 5, don't allow distribution. Ex Libris, I allow them to distribute. I think in 1 year I saw $5. I think every year I see $2, $3, $4, $5. I never took it away from them because I just figured whatever. I didn't have the energy to fight them. But I went with Author Inc. for this book, and they also did my cookbook and Jada's cookbook, and pretty much you guys know the story. If you follow me for any length of time, you know that Author Inc. has been ripping me off. They haven't been giving me any money for any of the books. Well, I did not give them distribution for Jada's book. Let me backtrack. Where's Jada's book? Right here the whole time. I did not allow them to distribute Jada's book, so they haven't stolen from Jada. All right, so let me put that over there. Now I would tell you to sell your own book. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to every fair, every event that's in the city, set up my tent, set up my little table, have my books with me. I'm gonna have like a video playing in the background to show what the book is about, because it's a cookbook, and I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby. I'm not gonna give up on this dream because I already have the product. Like my sister told me today, all too often people are trying to do business, they're trying to create a product like a shampoo, a conditioner, whatever, body wash, and they can't do it to save their lives. And here it is, you have a product, you have your book. So she's sewn into my book too, praise God. So the next thing is believe in your book. If you don't believe in your book, nobody's gonna buy it from you. So if you're writing a book and you're like, oh my God, I wanna show it to you, I want you to read it because I'm so shy, I'm so this. And you know, I go through that at the church that I used to attend. So many people saw that I wrote the book and I published it, because if you shake any tree anywhere, there's like 100 people in there trying to write a book. But they don't finish it, you know, they don't finish it because some of it is that they don't believe in it. Some of it is that they figure where the fund's going to come from. Sometimes it, you know, they run out of ideas. I mean, get together and talk with people around you and believe in your book, because if you don't believe in it, you will not be able to sell it. All right. Know your audience. Like for instance, some of you might be writing your book just because you want your kids to know your life story. Some of you might want to sell it out there. So if you don't want people to know all your business, that used to be a crook or whatever, don't put that out there, okay? If it's stuff that can get you arrested, don't put it out there, and figure who you want to sell it to. You know I want to sell my book to the world. A book can go where you can't, all right? So you might be here sitting in America somewhere, Florida, California, Indiana, pick one, and your book's in China somewhere, and you're not even there. You don't even plan on going to China anytime soon, right? So a book can go where you're not, so figure where you want your book to go, all right? Write in your own voice. You know, sometimes you notice when people pray, they get all speakity spokity, like thee and thou, Father God, Lord God. That's the same way some people try to write their books. They don't even use words like lodestar. You guys know where I got that from. They don't use words like cloy. You know, they don't use these old 14th century words, but they want to put it in a book. Get real. Write the way you talk. You don't have to be grammatically wrong, but use the words that you normally use. If you are writing to an audience of people that are like you, and you end a sentence with a preposition, oh well, that's you. They'll know that that's how you write, right? Now, me, I tend to be a stickler for grammar for me, but only for certain things, all right? Sometimes my adjectives and my adverbs, they don't really agree with certain things, right? So I'm not a stickler for that, but I'm a stickler for stuff like I and me. I is the subject, me is the object, and a lot of people use it wrong, thinking they're being correct, and it sends me crazy to the point that I sit here and have little seizures when I hear it. Like, let me give you an example. Like if I say Joe will take Jada and I to the movies, that's wrong. That's wrong. It's Joe will take Jada and me to the movies, because Joe is the subject and then I, me, becomes the object. And if you want to correct it, take Jada out of it. take that other person out of it and go, Joe will take me to the movie, not Joe will take I to the movie. You see where it's wrong? So I'm a stickler for I and me. It sends me nuts when I hear it in TV, especially if I'm watching a show where the person is well spoken, you know, the character is well spoken, and then you hear them use that wrong. I start to like, it does something to my brain, because the writers should know that that character wouldn't speak like that. Speaking of characters, I'm not teaching you how to write a book that has plot lines, all right? I'm teaching you how to write a book about your life story. So I don't know how to write a plotline book. I guess I'm gonna learn one day soon, because I'd really like to do that. Do not give your manuscript to anyone. Let me tell you, the guy that told me to write the Small Change Diet, he was the one that told me, he says, I know you have a good relationship with your mom and I know you trust her, but don't even give it to your mom. And that has stuck with me. If you want people to help you edit the book, invite them into your home, give them some tea and crumpet, and say, sit right here, read through this book, find mistakes. Do not get mad when they find mistakes. Do not get mad if they say, I don't understand what you're trying to write here, because they're there to help you with that. They're the third party that's looking in to catch all the stuff that you're missing, all right? A quick little story at the end of this video right here. When I was doing the cookbook, a substitute teacher, a Belizean lady, met Jada in middle school. Of course, the kids all yelled, Jada's from Belize, teacher, blah, blah, blah. So she tried, you know, to become friends with Jada at first and started asking about Jada's mom. And Jada told her that I was writing a cookbook. So she became fast and furious friends with me. This is right at the time when Michael Jackson passed, by the way. I always remember that's when I met that crazy woman. And she wanted to not just get my manuscript, but she wanted me to give her my shoebox full of recipes, and she was going to type it in for me. She was being so darn helpful, and I really needed the help, so I was thinking about it. And then my Aunt Jenny had a dream, and she called me and she said, don't give that woman your stuff, she's going to steal it. And I remembered what that man said, and it just stayed with me forever and ever. And that lady turned out to be a nightmare in my life, but that's a different video. But just know that I did not give her anything so she couldn't steal my book, and that's how Beans and Rice and Jesus Christ was made. Now, when I made Beans and Rice and Jesus Christ, we're going to talk about naming the book. That's not on the list. I named it that because I wanted to be tongue-in-cheek, and I really didn't care who I offended, because Jesus was my Lord and Savior and I didn't care. But I realized that I offended a lot of people, because like Jewish people didn't buy it because that was on it. They didn't know that there was a joke about it, you know, that we were always saying that we were eating beans and rice and Jesus was the meat because we were broke at the time. You know, they didn't get the joke because they didn't buy the book. The story about the joke is inside the book. And so if you want your book to sell to a big audience, don't name it stuff that's going to be offensive to other people, all right? And you do want a catchy title, and don't worry if you don't have the title when you first start, because it will come to you during the process of writing the book. I hope I've helped you guys. Please know that I believe everybody should write a book. Sit down, think about it, get it started. If you need my help, holler at me. I will help you, all right? Don't forget to thumbs up this video, share it with your friends and family for me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys again next video. Bye.